Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Today, the name of the subject that we are going to start is artificial intelligence. It's our first lecture, and in our first lecture, we will discuss the introduction of artificial intelligence. You can see my profile here. You can email me, you can WhatsApp me. Here is your course outline. As you can see, there is no lab. It is a 3 credit hour subject, and prerequisite of this subject is data structures. Course outline contains introduction to Common Lisp, AI classical system, general problem solving, and you can study all these topics that we will discuss in our later on lectures. I have given 2 reference books as well. If you want to get any information from these books, so these books are very much there on internet. You can download from internet. So what is artificial intelligence? You might be thinking that what is artificial intelligence? This is popular conception driven by scientific fiction. Robots good at everything except emotions, empathy, appreciation of art, culture. Here you can see many more definitions, perhaps more representative of human optimism than of current real art, robotics and AI. So we have to discuss here the topic what is real AI. This is a serious science, like general purpose AI, like the robots of science fiction, is incredibly hard. What is mean? Human brain appears to have lot of special and general functions integrated in some amazing way that we really do not understand at all. Like if you look up your human mind, you can analyze medically. So this is the one thing in the universe that the science do not have any explanation of human work very much. Although we have neural network, we have procedure, or we can say we have little bit know-how about neural network, but the most of the brain part is undiscoverable. Special AI purpose means logistic planning, automated translation, voice recognition, web search, data mining, medical diagnosis, keep a car on the road. I mean to say that these all the special purpose AI, that in voice recognition, the person speak out, and the other hand, uh, the thing that is listening is computer. Mean like this is web search as well. We have data mining. So here are some different explanation, and you can say definition of AI. system that think like human. This is very much popular and very common definition of artificial intelligence. System that thinks rationally, system that act like humans, system that act rationally. Like these are the two very important definition of artificial intelligence, that all those things, all those systems that are, that act or that think like human, that systems are known as artificial intelligence. Like here you can see, focus on action, avoids psychological issues such as, is the system conscious? What in your mind, that do you think that computer will have a conscious mind? It's an open-ended question. If our system can be more rational than human in some cases, like we can say that, if whether we can say that our system is more rational than human, what you say? Rational means that it can think more positively, it can think, the system can think more accurately, the system can think, or it can solve the problem more accurately. If is it so, then why? And if it is not rational, then why? You may think about these questions. We will follow act rationally approach. This what is mean? Distinction may not be that important. Acting rationally like a human requires thinking rationally like a human. Like I'm if I conclude this slide, that acting like human and thinking like human is known as artificial intelligence. Here is the last line, that humans much more rational anyway in complex domains. Whenever there is much more processing is required, whenever there is much more storage is required, I mean to say that your eyes are keep on sensing the environment, and they are sending the videos to your mind, and your mind is recording. So in our mind, all the things that we are looking, it is being recorded in our mind. So the problem with the human is, whenever we have to retrieve those information in front of, if I remember in my childhood, I have to think about the previous uh, scenarios, that who was the, whether the principal in our school was male or female. So your mind will quickly retrieve this information from your mind and will say, yes, he was a man. So that means there is a mechanism of storing in your mind. But in many cases, the computer is more rational. This is a slide in which we can see Chinese room argument. Here we can see that the Chinese room. Here is a Turing test on unsuspecting judges. It is possible to fool human. Why do not realize that they may be talking to a bot? Sometime if we call on any cellular network, so The actual person is not there, but the recorded voices we can listen. So that recorded voices are being played by the bot. The bot means the robot. Like in ELISA program, rephrases partner statements and questions. Is Turing test the right goal? We can see here that aeronautical engineering texts do not define the goal of their field as making machines that fly so exactly like pigeons that they can fool even other pigeons. Means that whether we can make a pigeon artificially that can fool the other pigeons that are flying or that are sitting on the tree, is it is possible? Dear students, we have two types of tasks. The one is clearly defined task, and the second is complex, messy, or ambiguous task. Clearly defined task means playing chess. We have right away defined moves, defined rules, drawing logical inferences from clearly stated facts, performing probability calculation in well defined environments. Although scalability can be a significant issue. So these all are the clearly defined tasks in which everything is predefined. That could be for human being or that could be for the robot. So what are the complex and messy ambiguous tasks that are natural for humans, in some cases other animals as much harder? Like we can say that what are the complex issues? Recognizing your grandmother in a crowd, that if we have a crowd of 1,000 people and you have to search your grandmother from that crowd, so this is a complex problem. Drawing the right conclusion from an ungrammatical or ambiguous sentences, driving around the city, means if we have a robot, we will have a clearly defined roads, we will have clearly defined signals, we have clearly defined all the mechanical and the car that is being driving on the road artificially will be well equipped and well equipped with sensors. But do you think the human being is doing the same thing? So we have, there are two types of defined task. The one is clearly defined task and the second one is complex, messy or ambiguous task. So in these two tasks, what you say, who will perform better, a human or a robot? So the answer is here, human better at coming up with reasonably good solutions in complex environments. Like if we have to find out our grandmother in a crowd, so this is a complex problem, and definitely the human being can perform and definitely it will perform more better than the computer. Human better at my usual strategy for chess is getting me into trouble against the person Y. What else can I do? So this is a question for you. You have to think about this question. Dear student, if we talk about the early history of artificial intelligence, uh, we have to discuss two problems. One is ambiguity, and the second is scalability. You can say complexity as well. So ambiguity, highly funded translation programs, Russian to English, were good at synthetic manipulation but had at disambiguation. Like if we had given the computer the sentence, the spirit is willing but the flesh is weak. This is a sentence. The ambiguity means that this statement becomes the vodka is good but the meat is rotten. So this is the ambiguity that computer has translated spirit as vodka and flesh as meat and weak as rotten. So this is the ambiguity problem. So what is scalability? Earlier example were very small. The artificial intelligence is being working, or this concept is uh, not very old. The artificial intelligence started in 1956, but the early examples were very small and programs could not scale to bigger instances. Limitations of representations used. If we further look into the history of artificial intelligence, during 70s and 80s, expert systems were built. Creation of expert systems specialized for one particular task based on experts knowledge. This is also definition of expert systems. We will later on discuss this in detail. What are the expert systems? But here you can see a very small definition of expert system, that one particular task, a system that is specified for only one particular task, meaning a system can only do one task at a time, is known as expert system. If I discuss about the example of expert system, you can see ATM machines, and this is again over promising. Like uh, the computer could not do a very complex problem, or it can do only a single task at a time. In nowadays, modern AI is more rigorous, scientific, formal slash mathematical. So this is rigorous. Like today's we have many formal methods, we have mathematically, we have many formulas that we can apply in artificial intelligence, uh, divided into many sub areas interested in particular aspects, more directly connected to neighboring disciplines, that the artificial intelligence has integrated or connected many other disciplines within it, like theoretical computer science, statistics is also involving in artificial intelligence, economics, operational research, biology, psychology, and neuroscience. These are different disciplines that are being integrated with the artificial intelligence. Often lead to question, is that really AI? Like involving all these subjects into the subject that is artificial intelligence. Does it mean that this is really AI? Some senior AI researchers are calling for reintegration of these topics, return to more diagnosed goals of AI. If we connect all these different types of subjects into a single AI, so it will return to more diagnosed goals of AI. Dear student, this course will focus on general AI techniques that have been useful in many applications. We have different types of expert system, we have different types of sensors. So we will discuss about these things and we will avoid application specific techniques, that we are not going to discuss any specific technique that is being used in artificial intelligence, because we have to cover the following topics that are coming in the next slide. So here are some topics that we have to discuss, like search is very important topic in artificial intelligence, constraints, satisfaction, optimization problem, playing games, the topic that is very important is logic, knowledge representation, solving logic puzzles, solving proving theorems. Planning is also one of the major topic in artificial intelligence. Finding a schedule that will allow you to generate reasoning backward from the goal. This is also planning. Probability, decision theory, reasoning under uncertainty, and the last one is time permitting, that is machine learning, reinforcement learning. So these are the advanced topics, these are the advanced subjects that is not in the range of BS level. So dear student, all that was simply introduction of AI, but I would like to start this subject formally, that you have to have some different types of definitions in your mind while writing on the paper. So this is the first formal definition of artificial intelligence. The branch of science called artificial intelligence is said to have been born at a conference held at Dartmouth, USA in 1956. So the origination of artificial intelligence is not very old. It was in 1956. The scientists attending this conference represented several different disciplines: mathematics, neurology, psychology, electrical engineering, etc. They had one thing in common. They all were trying to use recently developed computers to simulate various aspects of human intelligence. Like the computer was almost was in discovered, or it was in the running position in 1945 onward. So in 1956 they decided, and all the different scientists had decided to stimulate various aspects of human intelligence, like they want to integrate how human being think. They want this idea, and they want these algorithms that are being running in our mind. They want to implement all the human intelligence into the computer, and this idea was originated in 1956. So this is how artificial intelligence was started. Artificial intelligence is very much related with the behavior of human being. So this definition is also demonstrating that idea, that artificial intelligence may be defined as the branch of computer science that is concerned with the automation of intelligent behavior. An exact definition of artificial intelligence is not easy to formulate. Like there is no very accurate or very defined, uh, I must say, definition of artificial intelligence. However, there are some general abilities which are universally considered as intelligent. So, uh, To respond, what is intelligence? So these are different types of definitions. To respond to situation very flexibly. If the same response is exhibited each time, the behavior is called mechanical, like the machine is working and it's running, so this is known as mechanical. To survive in challenging environment, one need to exhibit innovative behavior, art of beginning. To make sense out of ambiguous or contradictory messages, to understand such messages because our knowledge and experience allows us to place them in context. Time flies like an arrow, but this washing powder versus by that washing powder. So these statements are very much ambiguous, as you have to read once again to understand these. So if the computer is differentiating or getting the statement out of these statements, then we can say that the computer is intelligent enough to recognize these statements. Here are some more definitions of artificial intelligence. To recognize the relative importance of different elements of a situation. Relative importance of different elements of a situation. Like we have a situation and we have different elements. So if we differentiate or relate different elements with the situation, so this is also intelligence. To find similarities between situations despite differences which may separate them. If we find out different similarities between the situation, although it has different separate it has differences which may separate them, so this is also known as artificial intelligence. To draw distinctions between situations despite similarities which may lead them difference in two core. If we have uh, two cars of same model, of same color, if the human mind can distinguish between these two cars, and if the computer is also distinguishing between these two cars, then we will say that this computer is artificial intelligence, or it is an expert system. These abilities are largely due to knowledge and experience, which allows you to place an information in its wider content. One of the very important definition of intelligence is that perceive interrelationship of facts, learn and understand from experience. This is very important in artificial intelligence. That like human being, we keep on experiencing different types of scenarios, different types of situations in our life, and we can understand and we learn from those experiences. So if the system is also doing, if the computer is learning from the previous examples, and it is generating some output, so we will say that it is expert system. Acquire and retain knowledge, respond quickly and successfully to a new situation. Like if we train a computer on an environment, that if we give different types of pictures of different people, and we tell the computer that these pictures relate to this person and these pictures relate to this person, and if the next time, if we give a single picture to the system and the system gives us answer correctly that this person is XYZ, so we can say and we will say that the system is intelligent enough to recognize between two pictures. So after discussing the intelligence, here is an example. Contact only through monitors and keyboard. Machines tries to pose as a human. So this is, as we have, this is our goal, that a machine acting like human being is known as artificial intelligence. So if a system is doing that, then we will say that this system is expert system. If the player cannot distinguish between human and machine, if we are playing a game on internet, and we are unable to recognize whether the other person is computer or it's a real human being, so in this case we will say that the computer is an intelligent device, or this is an expert system. A human converses with an unseen respondent and attempt to determine whether it is a man or a machine. So this is revised Turing test that we will have here, and here is an example that this is the human being that is integrating with the system, and on the other hand we have one human being and one artificial intelligence system. So if this person is unable to recognize whether he's talking to AI system or a human, so if the result is like he is not, this person is not, is unable to recognize between the human and AI system, then we will say that this AI system is this is expert system, and this is actually the revised Turing test. Major areas of artificial intelligence are expert systems, natural language processing, machine learning, robotics, and computer vision. So these are the different types of expert systems. So dear students, this is the end of our first lecture, and I hope you have uh, a very clear concept of what is artificial intelligence. In our next lecture, we will discuss about major AI areas, that what are the different areas in which the artificial intelligence is being working. So the major system that is the part of your course outline as well, that is expert system. So it was a clear discussion about artificial intelligence, and see you in our next lecture. Allah Hafiz.